Hello, everybody. Ms. Carnegie here with another video. Today, we're going to talk about division using our box method division. All right, so we're going to work with the problem 7,318 divided by 22. Now, there are three parts to a division problem. There's your dividend, which is the number that you are dividing, your divisor, which is the number you're dividing by, and then your quotient, which is your answer to a division problem. Now, I teach two methods of dividing. One is long division, then this is the other, which is box division. So let's get started. First things first, is box division. That means it's going to be a box involved somewhere. Now, I give me a nice size rectangle. I'm going to need the space. All right, now, inside this rectangle, I'm going to put my dividend inside the rectangle. Each number has its own section. So in that case, I'll make 4 sections inside my rectangle. All right, so now I'm going to put my 7, 3, 1, 8. Now, it's very important that you place the numbers very close to that inside line like I've done here, because you're going to bring over numbers to add to the front of it as we go through this process. My divisor, which is 22, is going to go right to the front. And then when I get my answer to each individual section, it goes on top at that section to have my complete answer. So let's get started. All right, first things first, I'm going to look at my number and I'm going to see how many times can 22 fit inside 7. In this case, it is 0 times. So I place my 0 up top. I multiply 22 times 0. I get 0. So I put my 0 right here. I subtract. I get 7. Now, what I do with my 7 is I'll bring it over beside my 3. This is why we place those numbers to the very edge. So my 7 now goes in front of that 3. And now I do the process over. How many times can 22 fit inside 73? It can fit 3 times. So I put my 3 up top. 3 times 22 gives me 66. Now I subtract, and 73 minus 66 gives me 7. Now, once again, I take my 7 over to add to my next section in front of the 1. And again, 22 can go into 71 3 times. 22 times 3 gives me 66. 71 minus 66 gives me 5. And I bring my 5 over to my last section beside that 8. 22 can fit into 58 2 times. 2 times 22 gives me 44. I'll place that 44 there. I subtract, and now I get 14. I have no other numbers to carry my 14 to, no other box to carry it. So this 14 now becomes my remainder. So now I can say that 22 divided into 7,318 gives me the answer of 332 with a remainder of 14. Now, this part is important to check our work using a calculator. We also want to check our work on pencil and paper as well. So now what I'm going to do is, always make sure you clear your memory. I'm going to do 7,318. And I'm going to use my INT division sign, which is right on top of the regular division. I want to use this because I want to get a remainder for my answer. I don't want a decimal, I want a remainder. If I want a decimal, I'll use this one right here. But since I want a remainder, I'm going to use my INT division sign. And I'm going to put 22. And I get 332, remainder 14. So my calculations were correct. Well, Mr. K, what happens if I don't have a calculator? Then this is what you're going to do. You're going to take your quotient, which is your answer to a division problem, and multiply it times your divisor, and then add your numerator to it. For example, we're going to take 332 times 22. Once we get our answer for this, we're then going to add our 14 to it, and we should equal 7,318. So let's do the multiplication. 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 2 again is 6. We drop a 0 because we're doing a standard algorithm. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 3 is 6. Now I got my partial products. I'm going to add everything together. That gives me 4, 0, carry my 1, gives me 13, carry my 1, gives me 7. And now we're going to add our remainder, which is 14 down here. And when we add that remainder, we get 8, 1, 3, 7. So now we're back to where we started when we started our problem. 7,318, 7,318. So we checked our answer by dividing, we checked with the calculator, and we checked by pencil and paper to make sure we get the same dividend that we started with which we do. All right, let's go with one more problem. As always, if you need to, please slow the video down by pausing it or rewinding it so you don't miss any steps. All right, next problem we're going to do is go 8,565 divided by 15. Now, once again, what we're dividing is our dividend. What we're dividing by is our divisor. And the number we get once we divide everything, our answer becomes our quotient. All right, so we're doing box division again. So I'm giving me a nice size box. Since I got 4 numbers in my dividend, I'm going to give me 4 sections inside my box. My 15 is at the front door. Then I put my numbers inside. Remember, when you're doing your box method, put the numbers into the inside line as close as possible, because you are going to bring things over to put in front of these numbers. All right, so now we go through that same process. Can 15 fit inside 8? It cannot. So 0 goes up top, and then 15 times 0 is 0. 8 minus 0 is 8. I bring my 8 over beside my 5. 15 can go into 85 5 times. 5 times 15 is 75. I subtract, I get 10. I bring my 10 over to my next section. 15 can fit into 106 7 times. 7 times 15 gives me 105. I subtract, I get 1. I bring that 1 over. 15 can go into 15 one whole time. 1 times 15, of course, is 15. I subtract, I have nothing left. So now, being that my remainder is 0, I do not need to put R0 right here as part of my answer, because if R0 is there, it's understood it has no value to it, so it's really not needed. So now I can go back up top and I can say that 8,565 divided by 15 will equal 571. Notice I didn't add that 0 in the very front because it has no value in there. If 0 is ever your first number, you don't need it. You start when you start getting at your whole number to add your answer choice. All right. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you was able to learn something. And if you do use box division, I hope you was able to master your craft by watching this video. As always, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you real soon in the future.